If you're having an issue with your baking where halfway through the animation it starts to look like this and your pieces start to float and get morphed into each other, I'm not exactly sure why this happens, but what you need to do to fix this is just move the pieces around, maybe scale them down just a little bit, and then keep doing that until you get exactly what you're looking for. So I decided to move my pieces around, and this is what my setup looks like, where we have the two L's at the bottom, the cube right there, we have this one fall right there, then this one there, then finally this one over on the left. And this is what it looks like. I set the end frame to 500. I'll play this so you guys can see. There we go, and all the pieces work properly, nothing is floating, and everything looks good. Okay, so I'm going to set the end frame to 450 instead of 500, and now let's set up the materials and the lighting. First off though, I want to make sure all of these have the smooth modifier applied to them, so I'll select them all and click on smooth shading. There we go. Also, I'll right click on one of them and then add a subdivision surface modifier to it, and then we'll set the view to 2. We'll do this for all of these, so subdivision 2. And a shortcut to actually add a subdivision surface modifier is right clicking and then hit Control 2. I'll do this for all of them, Control 2, Control 2. There we go, not too bad. Okay, so now let's set up the material for these. So an easy way to do this is just go over to the Material tab, click on Use Nodes, and set the surface to Principled. I'm going to bring the roughness up a little bit to maybe 0.6. I'll open up the preview so you guys can see what that looks like. I'll set this color to a blue. I'll name this material blue as well. Next, I'm going to right click on this one, select that blue material, then hit that little plus sign or that 2 right there, and that creates a duplicate of this material that we can change. I'm going to set this to red, and probably around there looks good. I'll do this for all of these. I'll select different colors, so I'll select the blue, hit that little 2, then change it to maybe a greener sort of color, probably around there. I'll call this one green. This one I will select green, I'll hit that 2, and maybe change it to a yellow color. We'll call this one yellow. Next, I'll right click on this one, set it to green, hit that 2, and set this to an orange color. Probably around there. Finally, this one right here, we'll select the blue, hit that 2, and give it a purple pinkish color right around there. I'm going to press Shift Z to see what it looks like. There we go, not too bad. Okay, for the plane and then the back here, it's just going to be a simple principled shader, so I'll set the surface to principled right here. I'll do the same thing for this background, set it to that material right there. I'll press Shift Z, see what it looks like. There we go. For the world settings, I'm going to turn it to a white color, so I'll just drag that up. I'll press Shift Z one more time to make sure everything looks good. Okay, now let's set up the camera. And since we deleted the camera, we need to add in a new one. So press Shift A and click on Camera. I'll go into front view by pressing 1, then hit Control Alt 0 to snap my camera into place. Then I'll press G, middle mouse button, and drag it forward. And then I'll drag it down till it's positioned right here. Maybe back a little bit. Then I'll press Shift Z, make sure everything looks good. Alright, now let's go over to the render settings and do this. So I'm going to set the resolution to 1280 by 720 with 100%. I'll drag that all the way up. Underneath the sampling, I'm going to set this value to 30. I'm going to set the clamp indirect to a value of 1. I'm going to open up the light paths and turn off reflective and refractive caustics. That will just clamp down on all of the fireflies that might happen with the glossiness. Underneath the render layers panel, I'm going to check on denoising. Next, set an output section right here. So create a folder on your desktop and then set that here. So click that little button on the right and navigate to where your folder is. Mine is right here underneath Tetris frames, and click accept. Now that you've done that, we are ready to render. So you can save your project one more time, scroll up, and then click animation. And that will grab all of the frames and render them out.